So it's 2020 and there's a whole lot of lenses available around the 50mm prime mark now for Sony cameras. So why did I go ahead and decide to buy again the 2013 model, the 55mm 1.8? Let's get into it now. So if you guys have been following my channel, you probably know by now that my main combo is 24 and 85mm. I shoot mostly 24mm 1.4 G-Master, probably 90% of a wedding day, and for most of my personal work also. I do have another few lenses like the 35mm 1.8 and a tilt shift lens and a couple other things that I hardly ever use. But I decided to go ahead and get the 55mm 1.8 again, which I've already owned in the past. I sold it because I wasn't getting much use because I was mostly on 35. Now that I'm back on 24mm, I find that 55 and 24 is just a fantastic combo for most of a wedding day and probably most of any day really. It is personal preference, so it's going to come down to what you prefer in your own photography style. But for me, I found 85mm was getting a little bit too tight in some situations. Me personally, I really like that kind of environmental feel and getting a little bit wider and telling a story of what's going on around me rather than really zeroing in on the subject itself. All of the images I'm going to show you guys now are shot with a 55mm 1.8 and most of them are at f1.8 and they were all edited just really quickly with my preset pack. You guys have all seen that already. So I looked at all the other options. I tried the 50mm 1.4 Zeiss lens. I tried the cheap 50mm. I'm going to do a comparison on all of them. There's a Sigma one. You can get the Samyang one. There's a few other options as well. Now there's a few reasons why I went with the 55mm. The first one has got to be the size and the weight. I mean, just look how small it is. It's so light, so small. You can easily carry it around, no problems at all without worrying like all day. Other than that, the build quality is really nice. I don't think it's weather sealed properly. It probably says Sony dust and moisture resistance, but I don't believe it's properly weather sealed. It doesn't have the gasket on the back or anything like that. The next reason I chose it is the focus is just so fast and snappy and reliable. It's one of Sony's fastest focusing lenses. It's really got to be. I find the Sony 85mm 1.4, it definitely focuses slower than a lot of the other Sony lenses, but it's accurate enough, and you know, for weddings it's definitely fast enough. It's just much slower than this. This one is also really great for video, so the 55mm is just for video purposes in terms of focusing and everything. It's just a fantastic lens for that. So you guys know I'm shooting hybrid, so I shoot photo and video at the same time, and the 55mm is fantastic for that. The focusing when you're doing video is really silent. You can't hear it at all, which is great. Even if you're using a microphone on the camera or just the internal mic, you can't really pick it up at all. I really enjoy the field of view of 55mm. It's quite a bit different to 50mm actually. You kind of have to put them side by side. If you guys want, I can do a comparison. Maybe I've done one in the past. I'll have to check. If I have, I'll put it in the description, but I'll do a comparison with this versus 50mm, and it is a bit different. It's obviously nowhere near 85, but you do get a little bit more reach and a little bit more compression, and this lens just really has that weird kind of swirly effect in the background, which I really personally like. Some people aren't going to like it, but I quite enjoy it, and it's just so sharp. Like optically, it's an amazing lens. It does have a little bit of chromatic aberration wide open, but not as bad as some of the other new lenses that are out at the moment. Honestly, for a lens that was released in 2013, that's 7 years ago, it's a fantastic lens. So there's obviously a lot of other great options, like the 51.4 Zeiss is a great lens. It's much, much bigger and heavier, but if you don't care about the weight, that's a fantastic lens. This one's also a lot cheaper than some of the other options. It's definitely not the cheapest lens you can get in this kind of focal length, but it's, you know, about mid-range, and it's a lot cheaper than the 51.4, which is a lot bigger and heavier as well. Before we end this video, I just want to touch on what's going to be in the next one. So I went ahead and bought another A7RIII, which is just going to be dedicated to video. So that's video for weddings and for my YouTube videos. I'm filming on it now, and I also got the Atomos Ninja V, which I'm filming on also. And I've built this whole awesome rig. It was super fun if you're like into gear and all that kind of stuff. But it definitely has a really important purpose, and it's all part of my doing photo and video at the same time kind of thing at weddings. So I'm going to touch on that in the next video. Hopefully that'll be out tomorrow or the next day. But I'll see you guys then.